Chapter 16, The Bunker. After their close call with the thugs in the city, they continued west. Both hoped the rural area would be safer. Sue tried to focus on the protector side of Ulysses, rather than remembering the look in his eyes as he tore apart those raiders with his bare hands. He had turned into an animal, decimating the attackers. She hoped he would reserve his violent outbursts for their enemies. A wrath she never wanted directed toward her. She had lost track of how long they had traveled together. It felt like forever, and like they met only yesterday. Stress had a way of twisting the passing of time into a knot. They still hadn't found a safe place to stop for more than a night. She hoped Ulysses' intelligence about the camp proved correct. A safe place to stay. Sweat poured off her forehead, rolling down her face. The brutal summer sun became a constant companion during their travels. It felt hotter than it had before the EMP attack. A walk through hell. But Sue's senses could be lying to her. She missed air conditioning. They hadn't come across any more raiders since leaving the city, but commercial buildings and even houses became a rare sight. Both shelter and supplies became harder to find. Had this trip become a fool's errand, waiting to take both of their lives? As they rounded the next corner, a concrete structure built into a rocky hillside appeared before them. Whoever built the place disguised it well, blending it into the landscape. She tapped Ulysses on the shoulder, pointing toward the heavy steel door. "What's that?" Ulysses squinted as he followed her hand. He stood scratching his chin, staring at the hill. "It looks like a bunker." A bunker meant trouble. Either the military or raiders occupied the fortified structure, and Sue considered neither group their allies. People waiting to take advantage of them. "Let's get out of here before they see us." "It's okay, Sue. We need to check it out." "The military or another group of raiders might be inside." Ulysses chuckled. He rested his huge hand on Sue's shoulder. Her racing heart slowed at his comforting touch. "If it was the military, they'd have a well-guarded perimeter, and we wouldn't have gotten this close. Nobody would be stupid enough to build a bunker that was blind, so if it were raiders, they would have attacked us long ago. Best we check the place out first, so we know for sure what we're dealing with." Sue saw the wisdom in his words, but worry turned her stomach sour. Logic told her he was right, even if her gut didn't agree. She nodded, not trusting herself to speak. He flashed a huge smile before turning toward the door. Sue took a deep breath, steeling her nerves. "Do we just knock on the front door?" Ulysses shrugged. "Won't know until we reach the door." A combination of excitement and fear filled Sue as she approached the concrete bunker. Had they discovered an oasis in the desert, or another dead end? Time would tell, although she hoped for the former. A tangle of overgrowth concealed the heavy steel door. The sealed entrance promised protection from the horrors roaming outside. Jagged cracks spiderwebbed across the concrete exterior. Sue guessed they created the illusion of natural rock rather than poured concrete construction. Natural camouflage. She cleared away the vines surrounding the cool metal hatch. Her work revealed a lighted numerical keypad. Sue pointed to the numbers. Food, water, medicine, supplies, plus shelter from the elements awaited them inside. At least her imagination told her so. How many times had her imagination been mistaken since the EMP attack? "Can you get us inside? This could be what we've been looking for." Her words dripped with hope, wondering if his mysterious past went beyond hand-to-hand combat. But she had no clue what the big man had done before the blackout. Ulysses gave the keypad the stink eye. "Don't get too excited. If we can get in, then the place might be empty. Besides, I'm no tech expert." He inspected the keypad along with the door. His massive hands probed the assembly with the delicate grace of a craftsman. After a few moments, the keypad turned green, emitting a short beep. The heavy metal door groaned open. Sue wanted to rush inside, but she contained herself, stepping across the threshold behind Ulysses instead. Emergency lighting cast an eerie glow throughout the cavernous room. Control panels glowed, while ancient CRT screens added to the haunting feeling of the empty room. Her heart sank, expecting to find stores of supplies, only to find a room filled with antique electrical equipment. She turned back to Ulysses, only to find him enthralled with the panels and screens. They couldn't eat antique electronics. No wonder why they found this place empty, with nothing of value inside. "Where are the supplies? This crap is useless." Ulysses chuckled as he sighed in frustration. She had hoped to find an oasis, finding a useless utility closet filled with crap instead. At least it would keep him out of the elements tonight, providing a respite from the suffocating heat outside. The equipment might be old, but it's working. This screen displays camera feeds from around the area, while this panel shows the status of all the support equipment for the entire bunker. A huge smile spread across his face, lighting up his eyes. Ulysses seemed to come to life. She didn't understand why. What do you mean by the entire bunker? There's only this one room. Ulysses gave her shoulder a gentle squeeze. You thought this room was it? Let's explore the rest of the bunker. They ventured deeper inside, their footsteps echoing off the concrete walls. As they reached the back wall, Sue noticed another metal door recessed into the concrete. She tugged on the handle to no avail. Her shoulders slumped. Let me try. Instead of tugging on the door, Ulysses reached for the darkened keypad next to the handle. She cursed herself for not noticing it earlier. He typed in the passcode. 1, 2, 3, 4. The keypad lit up green as the door groaned open. Ulysses roared with laughter. Not too secure. They probably use password as the password on their home computer. Sue couldn't help joining in with his laughter. A secure fortress using an obvious key code. As the door came to a rest, the lights turned on in the room beyond. Tears came to her eyes as she scanned the room. Jackpot! She couldn't think of anything else to say. The room featured a kitchen area, 2 sets of bunk beds, an armory, and rows of floor-to-ceiling shelves holding supplies. Half the room was filled with canned goods, dry food, bottled water, firearms, boxes of ammunition, medical kits, and other items she couldn't recognize from afar. They had discovered a hidden cache. Hot damn! Ulysses chuckled. This could keep us going for a long time. Possibilities raced through Sue's mind. Actual food, medicine, and weapons to defend themselves. The lifeline they searched for right here in front of them. Then the key question came to mind. Why is there power and working electronics here? Ulysses stopped in his tracks. He spun in a slow circle, scratching his chin. Sue recognized his tell as deep thinking. Good question. I don't want to be guessing at the answer. This place could be located too far from the attack, so the electronics weren't affected. If that's true, then that's good news, because we will find other pockets of working tech. My second guess is, this stuff is all military surplus, so it's hardened against an EMP attack. It would explain why everything looks so old. His words sent a surge of hope through her. Things could be better outside of the initial attack area. She wondered why nobody offered them any help if this was true. Ulysses' words broke her spell. We can figure it out later. Let's secure this place, grab some grub, and then get some rest. Tomorrow we can take inventory of the supplies. Sue nodded her agreement to his plan. Her stomach rumbled as they sorted through the stash of supplies. With each open box, Sue's heart swelled. The previous disappointment of the empty equipment room long forgotten. These provisions would last them months, if not years, allowing them to survive anything thrown at them. They feasted on canned stew, warmed on a cooktop. It tasted like heaven after the crap she had eaten in the last few weeks. Sue devoured a second helping as Ulysses grinned at her. A real celebration instead of living in fear. Take it easy on that food or you'll make yourself sick. Sue shrugged off his warning. I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Then I'm going to take a long shower. Ulysses nodded. She knew danger lurked outside these secure concrete walls. These supplies would run out, putting them on the run again. But for tonight, she would allow herself to feel hopeful and safe. After eating her fill, Sue settled under the shower head, allowing the steam to renew her. She threw on some oversized, dated exercise clothing she discovered in the bunker. They were cleaner than what she had. Her eyes slammed shut as she collapsed into one of the bunk beds. A deep, dreamless sleep overtook her, fueled by being safe and well-fed. 2 things she hadn't experienced for weeks. The next morning, Sue awoke to the smell of fresh coffee. She filled a mug before finding Ulysses parked in front of the control panel with the monitors on it. He turned and smiled at her as she approached. You looked peaceful, so I let you sleep. It's a wet one out there today. Thanks for the rest and the coffee. How do you know it's raining? I can view a series of cameras with these monitors. They must blend into the surroundings because I never noticed them. I've been scouting the area from here, so we'll know what's out there. No need for any surprises. Sue appreciated his expertise. If he hadn't come along, she'd be in rough shape. The man in the leather jacket would have grabbed her by now, but now she filled her belly and recharged her body. She left Ulysses with the monitors, spending the day relaxing on her own. The bunker was cool because of some unseen climate control system, or because of it being underground. She didn't care which, welcoming the change from the endless marching under the burning sun. It felt nice not being burned by the unrelenting sun. Sue found a paperback of a zombie apocalypse story called Uprising, by some author she never heard of. She couldn't help laughing at the stupidity of the survivors in the fictional work. None of them would survive in her world, except for maybe Big Jim. When dinner time rolled around, Sue threw together a satisfying meal for them to enjoy. They ate their fill as they laughed and joked the evening away. She enjoyed a second night of undisturbed sleep, a touch of heaven on earth. On the third day, Sue grew stir-crazy. She had found 2 more paperback books, Retribution and Shattered, in the same zombie apocalypse series. But even reading them couldn't keep her entertained. The desire to roam around outside overwhelmed her. Sue missed the blue sky above her. When the storm broke, Sue found Ulysses scanning through the camera feeds. She didn't know how he had the patience to keep at it for so long. Each camera showed puddles and mud after 3 days of constant rain. Even though Sue felt the walls closing in, she felt grateful to be clean and dry inside the bunker. Still at the cameras, I see. Ulysses smiled. Don't want anyone sneaking up on us. Plus, sitting inside is preferable to wandering around in the rain. Sue laughed. She peered over his shoulder at the monitors behind him, spotting the danger. Even through the camera lens, seeing the man with the leather jacket took her breath away. Instead of speaking, she pointed at the monitor. Without a mirror, she was sure her complexion had turned pale. Raiders!